All right, the next title on top of your next available page in your language arts composition notebook is Common and Proper Nouns. So you were given a packet on your last in-person day, and we are going to be working with the first 2 pages. Let me zoom out a little bit here. First 2 pages in our composition, in our packet. So you can rip this page out that has the 2 little people on there. And then you can rip these out with these 2 groups of people on there also. Okay, first one is just going to be a cut all the way around the outside, glue the whole thing down kind of a page. Pretty easy. Okay, then that's going to go on the first page that you labeled common and proper nouns. So glue the whole back side down, and then you can label the next page in your composition notebook the same exact thing when you are finished with this. So this one goes like this. Okay, then I'm going to write a title on the next page, same exact title. Okay, now this one's a little more complicated, but it's not actually too bad. So I'm going to set this aside. We'll come back to that in a second. You're going to have 3 pieces that you are cutting out. You're going to cut this group of people out first, then this group of people out second. Make sure you cut all the way around the outside of this box. And then this bottom box, you're going to cut all the way around the outside just like this. So I will show you. If you need to pause this video for whatever reason to catch up or to just cut, if you don't want to listen to me cut and watch me cut, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay, so the first piece, oops, upside down, it's going to look like that. Set that aside. Actually, I'll keep it there so you can see it. And then we're going to cut all the way around the outside of these 2, and I'm going to cut them out as one and then cut them apart after, so it's easier. Okay, then these are going to be 2 separate things. So cut that middle guy out. And then we're going to glue these onto the page just like this. But you're going to glue the back side of all of these tabs. Okay? So then let's glue the back side of the 2 tabs. And I want you to do common first. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it kind of makes more sense to do common first and proper second. Just like that. And then these will be flaps that we're writing underneath. So if you want, you can fold them after you glue them, just like that. Then the next shape that we cut out, we're going to glue the back side of these tabs down, and that's it. You're going to see why in a second. This page is actually kind of fun to put together here. Okay, now just the back sides of these tabs are glued down, and this is why. You're going to now take your scissors again, and it's easier to do this before you, after you glue them down than it is before, trust me. You're going to cut right up the middle. You're going to rip this guy in half, just like this. Then you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to go across each tab like this. So you have all these little tabs here that we're eventually going to write under also. All And just like that. So now you'll have all these little individual tabs that we're going to be writing under. So if you want, you can fold these over to kind of get ready to write underneath, or just keep them up like that. That's totally fine. So if you need to pause this video right now to finish up your cutting, please do so, and then we'll continue back on in a second. All right, now let's take some notes. So we're going to flip back over to the first page that we cut out and glued in. We're not going to be writing any notes on this, but I want to just kind of explain what's on here. So a common noun are your nouns that you normally think of when you think of a noun. It's a general, not specific person, place, thing, or idea, and it's not written with a capital letter. Okay? The girl went to school the other day. Girl would be a common noun. School and day would also be a common noun. My teacher's birthday is next month. Teacher's birthday and month would all be common nouns. The store sells a lot of soft drinks. The store sells a lot of soft drinks. Those would be the nouns in that one. Notice they're nothing special. They're just generic. It's not telling us what girl, what school, what day, what month, what birthday, what teacher, what store, and what type of drink. It's just saying a general term. And that's why they actually have a question mark and a circle over this little girl's face, because it's just saying there's not a specific name attached to these common nouns. Okay, it's just a girl. But now they added the face back onto the girl, which sounds kind of silly, but a proper noun is a specific person, place, thing, or idea, and it is written with a capital letter. So now you'll see they actually use these same sentences down here, but they added in proper nouns to it. So the girl now becomes Jalen, the school becomes Smith Elementary, and then the day becomes Monday. I just underlined it because I couldn't put in an arrow there. The teacher becomes Mrs. Jones. That's a specific teacher. The specific birthday or the month is in February. The specific store is called Winn-Dixie, and it sells a lot of not only soft drinks, but Coca-Cola and Sprite. Those are the specific drinks for that. Okay? Okay, so let's flip over to the next page, and this is going to be like a definition that we'll write down for each one of these, and then some practice problems with it. So underneath the common nouns, you'll actually notice here these two people don't have faces, and these guys do have faces too. Students of mine a couple of years ago actually realized that, and I didn't realize that because this was the only foldable we used for that until they pointed it out, and I said, oh my gosh, you're right, let's figure out why. I wonder why. And we were able to figure it out. Common versus proper. Very generic versus specific people, which is kind of funny. So underneath the common nouns tab, we're going to write specific. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm writing the wrong one. Not specific. We're going to write a person, place, and I'll move my hand in a second here. Thing or idea, not specifically directed. A person, place, thing, or idea not specifically directed. An example would be restaurant. Okay, we could probably list a ton of different names of specific restaurants, or you can kind of think of it this way. If someone were to tell you, hey, meet me at the restaurant, you would probably think, okay, well, what restaurant? I don't know what one I should meet you at, where, what time, all that information. This is just a common name for, or common noun, a common name for a restaurant. It's restaurant. But once you add in a specific name, you now know where to meet them, and that becomes a proper noun. So underneath the proper noun one, we will write down, here's where I was going to write specific. Specific names for nouns. Always have a capital letter at the beginning. And that's the main reason that it becomes a proper noun. is that capital letter. If it doesn't have a capital letter, it's not a proper noun. Also, a name has been given to something. Or someone. So then an example would be Culver's. Now we have a specific name for a restaurant. So we say a name has been given to something. It's not just restaurant, but the name Culver's has been given to the restaurant. The name McDonald's has been given to the restaurant. The name Webb Middle School has been given to the school. Okay? Now, underneath each one of the tabs down below, we're going to write either common or proper. I guess if you need to go back and look at this, go back and pause this to finish up the notes. And then we will move on to the bottom. So underneath each tab, we're either going to write common or proper, depending on what type it is. So I see capital letters in the first one, so chances are it's going to be a proper noun. It's not just any boulevard, it's a specific one. So we're going to write proper under University Boulevard. Okay, next one, mountains. Mountains, it's not telling us which mountains, so that's going to be a common noun. Applebee's, that's telling us a specific restaurant, so that's proper. School, it's not telling us what specific school. In Reedsburg, if someone told you, meet me at school, you'd go, well, which one? This would be common. And there's no capital letter. Next one, soda, no capital letter. It's not telling us what type of soda, it's just saying in general. So that's a common noun. Spanish, this is technically actually a proper adjective. We won't tell the people that made this. They actually should have it in an adjective section, but Spanish would be a proper because it has a capital letter. Okay, and it's a specific heritage or specific language. Okay, so I guess what I'll do is I will fold these open, and if you need to pause it here to write underneath this order, you can. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one. Next side, waitress. That's common. We don't know who that waitress is. State, we don't know which state it is. It's just common. England, that's pretty proper. There's a capital letter at the end, and that's a specific country. Store, we already talked about this one. Store, that's just a general one. That's nothing special. There's no name given to it, so it's common. Private Jones, that's the name of a detective of some sort, so that would be proper because there's capital letters also. And then Ford Motors. Ford Motors has capital letters. It's a specific motor company, so it's proper. Okay, so I'll do the same thing. I will open up all the tabs, so if you need to pause it on this, you can to write it. Otherwise, we are done with our notes for today. So then you can log on and do the Google form attached to this assignment and then submit it when you're done. Let me know if you have any questions.